It's crazy. They're 18-16 now. In the loss column, the Valkyries have now moved ahead of the Fever, Dallas Wings team, and having a 19-0 run from Put On You, Stephanie White, the defensive mastermind, Stephanie White. That's nearly it. I mean, seriously. Sophie Cunningham. How about this?
Rebounders out.
Threat to do anything in the playoffs, maybe even make the playoffs. I mean, 10-8 at home?
Did the Fever just throw away their playoff hopes in one quarter? Indiana was rolling until the Mystics dropped 26 in the fourth and turned Gainbridge Fieldhouse into a nightmare. And it wasn't just the loss, it was the same story we've seen over and over again: blown lead, late collapse, and head scratching on the sideline. But here's the bigger question: why was Khloe Bibby glued to the bench with nothing on the injury report? The answer could reveal more about Indiana's problems than just one bad night. Quick favor before we move on. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 83% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So did you subscribe already? Great, thank you so much for your support. Now back to the video.
I'm sorry for you Stephanie White truthers. This team has a ton of talent. Even with Caitlin Clark out. Let's start with something that might at least make you smile. This was Sophie Cunningham coming into the game. This was the highlight of the game. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. This was the highlight of the game. This team has a ton of talent. You don't go 10-8 at home. If you're a real... I think it's 2 games in a row that they just collapsed in the third. This is coming off of getting beat by a dog shit.
Imagine this: you've controlled the game for nearly 30 minutes, the crowd is behind you, and everything seems in order. That was Indiana, locked in, attacking inside with Boston, moving the ball well, and letting Sophie Cunningham light up the perimeter with confident shots. The Fever were in charge, not blowing anyone away, but keeping the Mystics at arm's length. You could feel they had set the tempo just how they wanted it. But then the fourth quarter hit, and it was like a switch flipped. Washington tore through Indiana's defense with 26 points, shredding assignments, and finding open looks all over the floor. The Fever's defense, which had been solid, suddenly turned into wide gaps and mismatches. Guards drove straight to the rim, cutters weren't picked up, and rotations lagged a step behind. It was stunning, not because the Mystics played perfectly, but because Indiana stopped doing the basics they'd lived on for 3 quarters. Remember those shots Cunningham drilled early? They felt like sparks at the time, but when the fourth came, none of that momentum carried over. The offense stalled, possessions dragged out, and poor spacing meant forced attempts at the buzzer. Watching it happen felt like seeing someone unplug Indiana's power cord while Washington suddenly slammed the turbo button. And here's the scary part: this isn't a one-off. Over the last 10 games, Indiana has allowed almost 7 more points in the fourth quarter compared to their own scoring. That's not just a blip, it's a pattern. So when a roster with playoff-level names keeps unraveling, and it's to a younger Mystics team playing hungry and fearless, it raises red flags.
God almighty. Guys, this is the standings. Right here. Of course, these are not obviously updated as of yet. Oh, man. I got to tell you, if you're still defending her, I don't get it. Does she have pictures of you? Compromising pictures at this point? Inquiring minds would love to know. Right here. She gets a steal. Takes another direction. Odyssey Sims. Odyssey showed a little something tonight. She did with the layup.
What made this collapse worse were the choices on the bench. Rotation calls turned a tough quarter into a disaster. And nowhere was it more obvious than when Khloe Bibby vanished from the floor completely. What's more confusing than watching the Fever cough up a double-digit lead? seeing Khloe Bibby completely vanish from the rotation without a single explanation. No minutes, no touches, no fouls, she might as well have not suited up. And immediately fans started buzzing online. Was she hurt? Was it a coach's decision? Suspended? The strange thing is, there was no report at all. Nothing to clear it up. Now here's where it stings even more. Indiana wasn't just losing control in the fourth quarter, they were desperate for two things on the court: energy and spacing. And those happen to be the exact two areas Bibby brings whenever she's given run. She crashes the glass, she hustles on defense, and she spaces the floor with her shooting. Meanwhile, the Mystics had players like Sayesha Gori-Arafan and Carla Citron coming off the bench knocking down shots, grabbing boards, and injecting chemistry into the lineup. Washington's reserves were the reason their starters could close with momentum. Indiana had no such lift. If you look at the numbers, it really doesn't add up. Bibby has been averaging around 5 points and nearly 4 rebounds in limited time this season.
I gotta tell you, after tonight's game, the Fever are 10-8 at home. Seriously? You see good teams 11-3, 17-2. You've got to dominate at home. Stephanie White blew a lead in the third quarter. How many games is that this season? 5, 8, 10? Oh, Sophie Cunningham tonight, folks. Right here. She grabs the steal. She gonna drive it down, pull up, takes a step back, knocks it down, boom.
Compare that to the reserves who actually got floor time tonight. One guard played more than 10 minutes and didn't score, while another logged time but pulled down a single rebound with no shot attempts. On paper, Bibby looks like a much bigger piece in a game where the Fever were bleeding for production off the bench. So the big question becomes, what adjustments is Coach Stephanie White really making? Is she protecting veterans who are clearly out of rhythm? Or is she just riding cold lineups too long and hoping something clicks? Fans aren't just upset about the loss, they're frustrated because choices like these make it harder to believe the Fever are being set up to win. Bibby not playing is starting to look like more than one game, it's a symbol of a coach mismanaging key moments. And now the bigger question for Indiana is clear: are their playoff chances resting completely on Caitlin Clark's return? The Fever's slump goes way beyond waiting on Caitlin Clark. This loss showed it clearly: blown leads, rotations that don't line up with the